Kinds of recreational activities. So what is recreational activities? Recreational activities held during special occasion revitalize all different aspects of life like physical, mental, social, and emotional. All activities are held for everybody's enjoyment and pleasure. Recreational activity is an essential part of human life and finds many different forms which are shaped naturally by individual interests but also by the surroundings social construction. So, when we say recreational activity, it is something that relaxes your mind and your body. It is something that relieves your day-to-day tension or your stress. Recreation. Relaxing the minds and the body is important to engage in an activity that relieves the day-to-day tension. Recreation is the universal need of man. It is worthwhile socially accepted leisure, experience that provides immediate and inherent satisfaction to the individuals who voluntarily participate in the activities. Classification of recreational activities. The first one is spectator type. People spend their time watching the event and derive enjoyment from it. The spectator is a particular kind of viewer. Usually the word spectator refers to people watching games or spectator sports, but you could be a spectator at any planned event. The next one is participant type. People do not gain enjoyment merely by watching, they do so joining the activity. In participant type of recreation, people prefer to join the activity. In this way, they can feel relaxed and stress relieved, like joining games, dancing, and etc. Let's now move on to active and passive type of recreation. Active type. People have to function effectively in performing the action. Active recreation is leisure time physical activity undertaken outside of the structured competition sport. The most popular physical activities are predominantly individual exercise activities like walking and gym workouts. The next one is passive type. People have no excessive movement in performing the task or action. Passive recreational refers to recreational activities that do not require prepared facilities like sport fields. Passive recreational activities place minimal stress on a site's resources. As a result, they can provide ecosystem service benefits and are highly compatible with natural resource protection.
Good morning, everyone. So I will be discussing about the physical and mental activities. So what is physical activities? Physical activity is an activity where people exerts efforts and bodily functions in performing the action. Physical activity is defined as any voluntary bodily movement produced by skeletal muscles that requires energy expenditure. Physical activity encompasses all activities at any intensity performed during any time of day or night. It includes exercise and incidental activity integrated into daily activity. This integrated activity may not be planned, structured, repetitive, or purposeful for the improvement of fitness, and may include activities such as walking to the local shop, cleaning, working, active transport, and etc. Lack of physical activity is associated with a range of negative health outcomes, whereas increased physical activity can improve physical as well as mental health. Physical activity increases energy expenditure and is a key regulator in controlling body weight. So, examples of physical activity. For ball sports, there are football, volleyball, basketball, golf, tennis, and netball. For athletics, there are running, jumping, throwing, triathlon, and decathlon. For water sports, surfing, swimming, water polo, and diving. For martial arts, karate, judo, kickboxing, boxing, and taekwondo. And for animal sports, there are horse riding and polo. So what is mental activity? The mind is doing the function with less body movement. It is an important aspect of life. The protective, emotional, physical, psychological, and neurological effects of stimulating the mind are widespread. Mental activity or neurological stimulation can be described as anything that stimulates, activates, or enriches the mind. Stimulation can be provided internally from thought or externally from the environment. Education, occupation, social and leisure activities are all important contributors to mental stimulation. Mental activity increases the flow of blood, oxygen, and nutrients to the brain. Mental leisure activities can also be graded and may help as an alternative or to complement therapeutic goals. Some examples of mental activities which can be adapted are reading and listening to talking books, music, listening, watching a live performance, playing an instrument, and singing. Films, cinema, DVD, family recordings. This could help with memory or concentration. Puzzles, Sudoku, crosswords, electronic games. This could help with hand or eye coordination, memory, or sequencing tasks. Crafts, making cards and painting, easy to do at home and can be stopped if the person gets fatigued. And lastly is the board games or card games, easy to play with one hand. So what is public type? It involves the general public. So it means soliciting, leafleting, picketing, speech making, videotape recording, demonstration, petition circulation, and similar activities which are not limited or restricted to a particular person or class of persons but are open to observation and are likely to be seen by persons casually passing by. Means any event, gathering, or course of action undertaken by one or more members of an active chapter, which event, gathering, or course of action occurs under. So what is private type? It is confined to people working in a private companies, an event sponsored by private individuals, businesses, or organization that is not a commercial or community service activity. An activity carried on in circumstances that may reasonably be taken to indicate that the parties to the activity desire it to be observed only by themselves, but does not include an activity carried on in circumstances in which the parties to the activity ought reasonably to expect that the activity may be observed. So lastly is the commercial type. It is endorsing products which are open to everybody. The types of commercial activities are as follows. Number 1, accounting. This is the process that deals with the flow of money in an organization. Number 2, marketing. This helps in the improvement of brand recognition in the market and it aids the process of sales. Number 3, sales activities. This is very important activity because sales is an important generator of revenue for any company. And lastly, number 4, customer satisfaction. This is the most important business activity because customer satisfaction is the most important concept in any organization.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, classmates. So, my report is all about recreational games. The game is recreational activity involving one or several participants. Its role is to provide satisfaction and entertainment to players. However, games can also play an educational role, helping mental and physical stimulation and contribute to the development of practical and psychological skills. In general, the games involve a certain level of competence. Regarding the recreational games, the competitive value is minimized. As a purely recreational activity, the games want to be quite deliberately in a relaxed and enthusiastic atmosphere. The goal here is to bring satisfaction to the players, so relaxed, thus get rid of the daily tension states. So, konting kaibahan lang about sa recreational game versus sport. So, recreational games differ from sport insofar as these tend to be competitive because their goal is to defeat. In other words, the sport is a modality that highlights the result. Examples of recreational games. So for number one, chess. A recreational and competitive board game played between two players. Skills required are strategy and tactics. So for number two, hangman. It is a paper and a pencil guessing game for two or more players. One player think of a word and the other tries to guess it by suggesting letters within a certain number of guesses. So for number three, a snowball fight. It is a physical game in which balls of snow are thrown with the intention of hitting somebody else. Number 4. Jackstone. It is a game played with at least two people using 5 jacks. You must be at least 7 years old and above to play jackstone. And for number 5, shell game or sungka. The toaster lays 3 half shells face down on the table and slips a ball underneath one. Then he slides the shells around while the player tries to track the shell with the ball. The player makes a bet and guesses where the ball is. Some examples also are as follow. Number 1, ice skating, surfboarding, skiing, playing cards, blind man's buff, contract bridge, hopscotch, space invaders, dodgeball, and checkers.
Characteristics of recreation involves activity. These recreational activities allows our body to move and sweat and also enhance our physical fitness. No single form. These recreational activities doesn't have a specific activity. It will depends on the activity that you will do based on your preferences. Determined by motivation. When we are really eager to achieve or do the activity, we will find a way just to be engaged with that certain activity, that even though there will be many obstacles to stop us from doing the activity, we can still find time or find a way just to do it. A horse in unobligated time. So usually we do these recreational activities in our free time when we have nothing to do or it will not conflict our responsibilities or other tasks. Next is voluntarily participated. So we do these recreational activities by our own free will. It means that no one forced us to do it. So it is our own decision to be engaged with that activity. Universal set and practice. So these recreational activities that we do, it is what we are searching for or it is what we would like to do all the time because it is already applicable in our system. gives direct satisfaction. So these recreational activities gives us a sense of fulfillment every time that we do it. So it makes us feel happy and makes our mood lighter.
Values in leisure and recreation, we have physical health, psychological health, social well being, emotional stability, and big business. It's well known that outdoor recreation lends itself to both physical and mental health benefits. In fact, the two are so linked that improving one directly improves the other. Leisure, on the other hand, has many benefits. Besides enjoyment, the most obvious benefit is that leisure allows our bodies to recover from the stress and activity of daily life. Leisure also provides time to reflect and think through what is happening in our lives. Physical health. Taking part in recreational activities, especially outdoors, can greatly improve physical health. People who take part in park activities such as walking, hiking, or skiing schedule fewer office visits, maintain lower body fat percentage, and have lower blood pressure and cholesterol levels. For psychological health, mental wellness is critical to overall physical health. Participating in recreational activities helps manage stress. No, taking time to nurture oneself provides a sense of balance and self-esteem, which can directly reduce anxiety and depression. For social well-being, in social well-being, engaging into different leisure and recreation, it can actually promote and maintain good interactions and meaningful relationships with others. They can work and have fun together as well as explore new things. For emotional stability, it can help every person to maintain emotions under stressful circumstances. People who engage in leisure and recreation can help them to relax and relieve them from any stress and anxiety. It can tolerate minor stresses and provide them the enthusiasm and positive vibes, and thus help them to maintain their emotions in their everyday living. For big businesses, we have the recreation industry provides experiences for the purpose of enjoyment, relaxation, and even health. So, the recreation industry includes a wide variety of business and activities. So, here are just a few examples of businesses which define the recreation industry. We have amusement parks, movie theaters, music venues, theatrical companies, dance companies, recreational goods rentals, golf courses, arcades and activity centers, painting and craft classes, and many more. While these are some examples of major industries which help define recreation, they certainly aren't the only types of businesses that fall under this classification. New recreation trends are emerging every day, and with them, new businesses are growing to meet demands.
Scope of recreation. Scope of recreation defined as a field of activities freely chosen, possessing potentialities for the enrichment of life through the satisfaction of certain basic individual needs and the development of democratic human relations. We have two categories in the scope of recreation. One is indoor activities. These are carried out inside a space. They are limited to the conditions of the place where they are held, to the number of people participating in the activities, among other factors. So these are some examples of the indoor activities. We have the games and sports. These are the chess or parlor games. In dance activities, we have the step dance or trip to Jerusalem. Music activities, we can have singing or instrumental playing. In the drama activities, we can have storytelling and comedy skits. In the arts and crafts, we can make origami or pop-up cards. And in the hobby and collecting activities, we can have our cooking, dancing, stamp collections or antique collections.